Bruno Miguel Borges Fernandes has just joined Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne as one of the only three players to hit 20 assists in a Premier League season. Let that sink in for a second. He's not even playing with prime Ronaldo or Rooney or Giggs or Beckham or Andy Cole or Dwight York or even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He has achieved this feat with a 22-year-old Benjamin Šeško and the two best strikers from Wolves and Brentford last season. Our entire front line is playing their very first season for United, and this man has single-handedly ensured a great start to their United careers. But somehow, he isn't widely regarded as one of the greatest Premier League players of all time, even though people are usually tripping over themselves to say the same things about Henry and De Bruyne. Now, I'm not here to bring those guys down a notch because they do deserve their praises as two of the greatest players to ever play in the English top flight. But I do have a problem with Bruno Fernandes not receiving a similar praise. Both rival fans and some sections of our fan base talk about Bruno like he's some headless chicken who just runs around and throws his arms up in the air and pads his stats. But the reality is, he is one of the most productive footballers this league has seen in the last decade, and he's now fourth on United's all-time assist list between Giggs, Rooney, and Beckham. And guess what? He's done it in the worst Man United era in the Premier League. So today I want to talk about three things. The first is why the set piece assist argument is nonsense. The second is why doing this at United is actually harder than Henry doing it at Arsenal or Kevin De Bruyne doing it at City. And the third is where Bruno actually sits amongst the United greats. The first thing we need to talk about is this idea that Bruno's 20 assists are somehow less impressive because only 10 of them are from open play. Guys, when did football discourse become this stupid? Because if this was Bukayo Saka or Declan Rice getting 20 assists, or Bernardo Silva or Foden getting 20 assists, most of football Twitter would be sitting firmly up their backside. But for some reason, people just love to hate on anything good that Bruno does. Why is that? Tell me something. Do set piece goals not count? If so, why is the team that's about to win the league doing it almost entirely on set pieces? And here's the even better question. If Arsenal are set piece merchants, why isn't an Arsenal player up there with Bruno for the assist record in this season? The truth is, Bruno's been so good at dead balls all season that every team knows exactly what is coming and they still can't stop it. So let's collectively stop holding the 10 set piece assists against Bruno and start appreciating a player who's done something only two others have done in the 34-year history of the Premier League. And let me just go one step further here. Do you know who has the all-time Premier League assist record for set-piece assists in a single season? It's Slippy G with 11 assists in that infamous 13-14 season. Do you know how many total assists he finished with in that season? Just 13. So even good old Slippy G was having one of the best set-piece delivery seasons we've ever seen, and he still didn't get anywhere near 20 total assists. So clearly, it doesn't seem like it's easy to get 10 set-piece assists, and it's not easy to get 10 open play assists either. So Bruno having done both in the same season is just ridiculous. And by the way, we don't exactly have 11 Giants in this team. That would actually be Arsenal. So the quality and consistency of his deliveries had to be spot on all season for him to get to this point, and nobody can cheapen the value of him reaching this assist record. So when Henry hit 20 assists in a Premier League season, everyone rightly treated it like an all-time great achievement. He also had 24 goals that season, which is downright ridiculous. When De Bruyne hit 20 assists in the 1920 season, everyone also treated it like an all-time achievement. So why are people trying to audit Bruno's assists like we're doing his taxes? Because surely Bruno deserves the same respect. I'm not even trying to get into the argument of Bruno being better than Henry or De Bruyne because that's not the point. The point is that this achievement makes him one of the greatest creative players in the Premier League. And frankly speaking, I think creatively, Bruno does deserve a bit more credit for this specific achievement than Henry or KDB, because look at the teams they did it in versus the team that Bruno's doing this in. Bruno's played with the likes of Dan James and a bunch of freedom fighters in his career. Look at the players those guys have played with. And because I know you guys won't believe it till you see it, here are the players Henry played the most minutes alongside. And it starts with Patrick Vieira, Freddie Ljungberg, Robert Pires, Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell, Kolo Toure, Gilberto Silva, Dennis Bergkamp, Ray Parler, Martin Keown. These are some all-time great Arsenal players. right? That's an unbelievable set of players. Look at De Bruyne at City. You're looking at Sterling in his prime, Kyle Walker in his prime, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Ilkay Gundogan, John Stones, Rodri, Sergio Aguero, David Silva. You got Phil Foden. You got Riyad Mahrez. These are some of the best players that have played in the Premier League in the last 10 years. And when we get to Bruno's list, you're looking at Slabhead Maguire, you're looking at Diogo Dalot, you're looking at Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, who's been probably one of the better midfielders, to be honest, Scott McTominay, Fred, Onana. These are the top players that Bruno's been playing with. So this reads like an under 15 list when compared to Henry and De Bruyne's. And this right here starts to explain why people underestimate Bruno Fernandes. They just look at the individual numbers, or more likely the trophies, and say Henry was a winner, KDB was a winner, and Bruno doesn't even have a Europa League to his name. Henry was managed by Wenger in his prime. KDB was managed by Pep in his prime. And Bruno's been managed by Oli, Ranić, Ten Hag, and Ruben Amorim. That is hardly a who's who of coaches, but Bruno has still produced at an elite level throughout all of it. That's the part that people don't appreciate enough, because it's one thing to create chances in a settled elite team with elite goal scorers managed by an elite coach where everyone knows their roles and the club structure above it all is perfect. It's a completely different thing to consistently be one of the top chance creators across the Premier League in a United team where half the time the attack looks like it met each other at the tunnel. Bruno has had to be the tempo setter, the chance creator, the goal scorer, the presser, the captain, the emotional leader, and sometimes the only player on the pitch willing to take responsibility. And despite all of that, he now has a 20 assist Premier League season, which is just ridiculous. And this is where I want to bring it back to United fans, because rival fans are always going to be haters. We know that. But United fans should know better, because Bruno Fernandes now has 103 assists in all competitions for Man United. That puts him fourth all time behind Ryan Giggs, Wayne Rooney, and David Beckham. And he has done that without playing for a single title-winning United team. For God's sake, Bruno's highest goal contributions have come through Rashford, Martial, Casemiro, Pogba, and Alejandro flipping Garnacho. I understand that you have to win things at a club to become a legend, but how the is Bruno supposed to win with these idiots that Ed Woodward has surrounded him with? The truth is, we have not been a serious club since 2012. We've done shit like spend an entire summer twerking for Frankie de Jong, only to spend big money on a 29-year-old Casemiro. We spent 2 windows chasing down Jadon Sancho, only to pay what Dortmund asked for in the first place. We overspent by about £100 million on 2 players from Ajax in one summer, just because we couldn't make up our mind early in the window and go get Antony and Martinez. For fuck's sake, we actually dilly-dallied on Bruno himself from Sporting, to the point that he almost went to Spurs. So guys, let's just drop the act and start supporting this great, great man like we mean it, because we will all regret the day that he leaves this club. Mark my words on that. Look, from where I stand, Bruno is the best United player since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. I mean, there's no argument about that. He also easily gets into any historical Man United team, whether it's the treble winning team or anywhere else, even if it's off the bench. He also, in my opinion, is the best United player to never win a Premier League title. Maybe that can change before he retires. Who knows? Because the output is there, the consistency is there, the availability is there, the mentality is there, and the leadership is also there. And now he has a 20 assist Premier League season to add to the resume. Who knows? Maybe he can break it on the last day of the season. So yes, give Henry and De Bruyne their flowers for being some of the greatest Premier League players of all time, but Bruno deserves the same flowers, maybe even with a box of chocolates, because he's done it without the same level of team around him. I don't know how many years of Bruno Fernandes we've got left, but I would love for him to retire at this club, because I genuinely can't imagine a life without Bruno in this team. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.